I'll go ahead and say it. Black belt also. Because they smashed their way to black belt, and all of a sudden they wound up on their back. They don't have a guard. All right.
2 minutes remaining.
I didn't have a guard until I tore my knee and couldn't close my guard. I had to keep it open. Then all of a sudden, an open guard developed. All right, side control. I'm controlling them from the side. What I like to do is I like to more so control the hip, because the problem is that you got to understand, side control is basically pinning the person on the bottom and keeping them flat. You keep them flat by making sure, number one, they can't rotate their hip, but at the same time, you need to control their head, which is why I like to control the head. My hands are not on the mat. I'm not doing this because it relieves pressure. Everything is off the mat, but my right elbow is controlling his far hip. My right hip is controlling his near hip. My left hand is giving him a nice solid yamakizo right here, because this is the technical anatomical portion right here, because that's where the yarmulke goes, so it's great reference, okay? I want to take his head offline so that his neck is offline of his spine. It weakens the whole structure, and I want to just keep him flat. But the point is not for me to keep him flat. The point is to look for submissions, because from side control you have more submissions available than you do from mount. Mount is tricky, but side control at the same time, remember, is hard to get, easy to lose. If I'm not careful, he will turn to his side, frame from his side, move his hip away, shoulder, and now his knee comes in, and I lost. Side control, now I'm back in open throw. So I like to control the hip and a little bit of the head, but it's very difficult to control both unless you use a lapel. So what the lapel lets you do is control that far shoulder. So what I'm going to do is, this lapel is out, okay? I'm controlling the elbow, I'm controlling, and I need the underhook as well. So my right elbow is controlling his far hip, okay? My left hand is able to control his head, and at the same time now, I can move this lapel out, okay? What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna reach under his shoulder for the lapel. I'm not gonna feed the lapel to the hand, because I want it super tight. So what I'm gonna do is this. I'm going to push it out, and I'm gonna reach for it under his shoulder. And now I'm giving him very solid cross-face business here, and I'm still able to control his hip. Because now, if he tries to move, he can't turn his hip into me because he can't turn his head. And now it's very uncomfortable. So my objective is to drive the shoulder away. So sometimes you could even tap, okay? But this is just demonstration purposes, and it doesn't feel good, so let me loosen it up a little bit. What I'm trying to do is trying to gauge what opportunities do I have here. The first one I'm gonna go for is just, I'm gonna go for a step over lapel choke, okay? I'm controlling his hip here, and remember, if I feel him turning into me slowly, I can use my elbow on his hip and roll his hip flat. That's very important, very effective too, okay? And then I go on the outside. So now I'm grabbing on the higher part of the lapel. I'm gonna move down to this part right here, okay? And I'm gonna switch my base here, almost like a kesa, not a kesa, but a scaffold. And I'm gonna step over his head here, okay? And I want to lock my heel to the mat and lift my toe, so that now, as I pull my head away, the arm pulls. I don't want to pull with my arm. I want to pull with my hip. So as we're here, ladies, if you could just simmer down a little bit there. All right. So look, in order for me to step over his head, I need to move my head away and push myself and kind of roll and rock him away as my foot comes over. And I want to basically plant my heel. I don't want my toes here. On my heel, and if I can, see how far over I am, but I'm very balanced. I want to almost pinch my left thigh to my left elbow, so that now I have a heel, driving it in so it doesn't slip, and I'm just moving my head away. Sometimes when you get guys that really kind of fight this is a good way to get here and finish it. But if they fight it and they start pushing your leg off, you can turn it to the side very good. And I know what Andrew's thinking, but why not just do a baseball choke? Well, why not is because this comes first, okay? We'll get to that, don't worry, okay? So what I want you guys to do is you're gonna push this out, and you're gonna reach for it, and just have a very nice control right here, all right? Because I want this control to be something that you guys get used to, because this right here is very effective. And you can begin to really wear him down, use that shoulder to give him business, make him look away, okay? And what you can also do here is, watch this. I can roll onto my left hip, take this lapel out, and I can feed it to this hand here, okay? I'm still giving him the business, okay? Maybe I can even crank a choke right here, okay? Maybe. If not, I can hop up here. I can do a worm hat on top. This one is super powerful because you come here, right knee to the rib, you pop up, hand, punch, and then you're gonna pull into the fist. I'm not pushing this in, I'm pulling into the front. So first, here I'm gonna be here, feet in nice and tight, so you have good control. So they simmer down, come down, here, slide down here, hip back, knee under his arm. This hand should be at the base of his neck right there. I forget what Bernie called it. Step over, plant the heel, and then I'm gonna pull. Okay? And okay. This blade of the wrist is more so on his right carotid. My heel is on the left carotid. And what I like to do is, I like to control that arm so it limits his ability to push the leg off. Go ahead, push the leg off. Yeah, so even if he starts pushing it, go ahead, attack. I'll beat him to the choke. Okay? So your left hand is on that lapel. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Sorry.